Well, hello everybody. This is Mac, and we're going to do two-step algebra equations version C. In version A, we did these that kind of look like number one with the multiplication. In version B, we did the ones that look like number two with they're the division problems. So take a look at those if you haven't looked at them yet. It'll really help you out. And this one, we're just going to mix them up a little bit. Now, as a reminder, we are looking for things called terms. A term is something that is separated by pluses and minuses. So, for example, number one, we have what I call here the letter term. Here we have a number term, and here we have a number term. To solve problems, we have to get all of our letter terms on one side and all of our number terms on the other side. And so we have to move the problems around so they look like that. Well, the one by itself here, the 31, that's the number term. He has nobody left, so he's fine. The problem is the left side, I got letters and numbers. One of them has to go. I can move the letters over here, but that doesn't solve my problem. I got numbers and letters over here. So I want to move my number term over here. Then I'll have my letters on one side and numbers on the other. Okay? So my first step is to go minus 7. Boom. Let me get up on that. There we go. They die. They actually add the 0, but they go away because of that. And I get this. And then now we just do our one-step problems, which I have on mactutorials.com. Speaking of which, if you just ran across this randomly on YouTube or something, there is a website, maxtutorials.com, and I have the entire algebra class up here, and whatever you're struggling on, I've got something that should be able to help you. So go take a look at that so you can get more help. Also, you want to watch the version A and B, or I slow this down a little bit if I'm going too quick on C. All right, here we go. Let's go on to number 2. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. Why? Because I want to get my letters on one side and I want my numbers on the other side. Once I have that, now I can do the solution. I'm going to multiply each side by 5. Why, you say? Good question. That's like 5 over 1. I'm not going to write 5 over 1 on the others because we just know that. And when I do that, the 5 and the 5 cancel out and it becomes 1y, or just y. And that's how we solve. So whenever you have a denominator, multiply by whatever the denominator is, and that's how you get rid of a denominator, okay? Now on this one, I want to add 5, because remember, I want to do whatever the opposite is, because I want it to equal 0. Drop down the negative 6m. If I see students have problems, what they'll do is they'll drop down 6m. They'll forget to drop down the negative, so make sure you do that. Same thing here, divide by negative 6, and make sure it is the negative 6 and not just 6. All right, and then we get this answer. If positives or negatives are kind of blowing you away and you always kind of have trouble with those, go back to Unit 1. That was ugly. There we go. Go back to Unit 1 on my at maxtutorials.com, and I have a whole thing on negative and positive numbers that I think will really help you out, okay? Multiply each side by 8, boom, boom, and now I get A equals 40, okay? Let's keep going away here, okay? We want numbers on one side, letters on the other. So if I add 6 to both sides, all my numbers go away on the left, which is what I want. And now all my numbers are on the right. Signs are different, subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number, which is positive, divide by 5, and boom, P equals negative 3. Great, let's look at this one. My letter term is fine. I'm going to leave them alone. So I'm going to subtract the number term. And down, look at this. Boom, I've got letters on the left. I've got numbers on the right. Now, do I care about whether they're on the left or the right? The answer is no. And later on, we're going to do some problems where that's a negative 3. Look at this. I'm sitting here chatting. I'm not really paying as attention as well as I should, and I missed the negative sign. Be careful not to do that, okay? So anyways, going on here, minus 1, boom. I kind of forgot what I was talking about before. I was trying to make a point, then I saw I made an error, and that kind of made me sad, and I forgot what I was talking about. That's all right. Here we go. B equals negative 3. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, let's keep going on here to 8. I'm going to add 6 to both sides. Notice that I have a process each time. C over 7 equals 9. I'm going to multiply each side by a 7. Boom, boom. C equals 63. I remember what I was talking about. It doesn't matter if the letters are on the left and numbers are on the right. It's just the easiest way to do it right here. Now, we're going to do some problems later on in the chapter where we're going to have the variable on the right. And that freaks some people out every once in a while, but it shouldn't. It doesn't matter if the variable is on the left or the right. The process is still the same. Okay? Boom, boom. K equals 5. Okay, now on this one right here, I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. Boom, die. All we're doing is we're rearranging the furniture. We're just moving things over to the other side. Now I'm going to multiply by 12. Ooh, how are your 12 multiplication tables? T equals a negative 60. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. We have one more side to do. Thanks for sticking in there, guys. Okay, step number one is letters on one side, numbers on the other. And again, one side or the other. Don't say left or right. Now, in this case, we're moving them all to the right because we're just trying to keep them all sort of similar so you can kind of learn the process. We'll mix them up and make them harder later. But I want to give you a bunch of problems so you feel really good before we mix them up and try to trick you. Okay? Let's subtract 8, boom, boom. That always bugs me in textbooks where it's like, okay, I'm just starting to learn the concept, I'm starting to get it, and they start doing challenge problems, and you're not even there yet. So that's the whole purpose of these worksheets, is to give you some repetition. Repetition is great to helping you learn. Okay? Boom, boom, boom. So let's go ahead and go -1, -1. These are so easy. Why am I doing these all like this? Well, again, repetition is going to help you. And that's going to be add a line, change the sign, a -7. I'm going to multiply each side by a -4. Boom, 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 boom. That's an ugly 4. There we go. W equals a positive 28. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, number 14, I'm going to add 9. Why am I going to add 9? Because you want letters on one side, which is my 7D, and numbers on the other. Okay, great. So my letter, now when I say letters, I mean the letter term. Okay, but obviously the letter's not by himself. The 7's in the way. So how do I get rid of the 7? I do the opposite. I'm going to divide by 7. D equals 7. And I have a whole thing on these one-step problems that came before this video. So if you just stumbled on this and you're not using that website, maxtutorials.com, check it out. And I think it'll really help you on some of these things. Multiply each side by 9. Boom, boom. Die, die. H equals -72. Okay, number 16. We're going to subtract 4 from both sides. Boom. They go away. -8F equals a 32. I'm going to divide each side by -8. Boom, boom. F equals -4. Okay, we got a few more here to do. We're going to add 5 to both sides. Boom, boom. They die. I get Z over 10 equals 9. Now I got to get rid of that 10 by multiplying. And that gets rid of the bottom. Z equals 90. Okay, let's go over here to number 18. I'm going to add 11 to both sides because I want numbers on one side, letters on the other. So there's my letter term. Now signs are different, so I'm going to subtract. Keep the sign of the bigger number. Boom, boom. G equals -7. Okay, number 19. I want to get letters on one side, numbers on the other. So that's why I do the opposite there. That's why that's always the first step. I'm just moving the terms around. Okay, now add a line, change the sign. That's going to become a -10. That is an ugly number. I'm so sorry. I'm getting really quick and lazy. Okay, divide each side by a -2. Also, me writing on screen, so I'm kind of new to it. It's a little bit slippery. Here we go, a +20. Boom, 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 boom. And then the last one, I'm going to add 14 so I can get letters on one side, numbers on the other. Boom, die. 6J equals, that's going to be a 36, and I'm going to divide by 6. And I know my multiplication table, so I know that that answer is going to be 6. And I am done. Now look, I'm not saying they're pretty as far as like the penmanship, but if you notice, they're very consistent on how I do them. So I have a process. It's all written down. I can complete and go through the process. And that's what I want to see you guys do. If you get a process and you follow it every single time, you're going to get these right every single time as well. Okay? I hope this really helped you with two-step algebra equations. These are the 3 worksheets I have. It's time for you now to go on to the next section, and we'll see you there. Keep plugging away.